All right, so we go into every single year, and we have circled wins, circled losses. Nobody looks at Chattanooga and says, "Ooh, that's a coin flip game." Nobody looks at Georgia and says Tennessee's definitely going to dominate that. So coaches do this too, by the way, for those that don't know. I mean, they do. You think they look at the whole season and one game at a time and all that bull. Well, that's really not the way they do it. As a matter of fact, I asked Peyton Manning about that one time, and he said,
like, that is total bullshit.
So they've gone through and they have an idea. Florida has 25 players in the transfer portal. Unfortunately, Billy Napier for the Gators is still there. Alabama has Kalen DeBoer, who is not exciting. And they have how many players in the portal right now?
Alabama has 30 players that hit the
30
portal. that have committed. Some have committed elsewhere, so they're not right now in the portal, but that left them for the transfer portal.
Okay, so today's tough question, and I want your vote on the message board right now, are Florida and Alabama circled wins? Are they guaranteed, all but guaranteed wins? Nothing's guaranteed in sports, so I'm using that term loosely. Somebody asked about the shirt. There it is. You can order that. State of Tennessee versus the NCAA t-shirt. I'll put the link in the message board, but thank you for sharing that. So I will say Florida, yes, but I can't go with you for Alabama. Travis says absolutely not. Mead Drinker says no. And we've got a bunch of no, that's not the case. And Dan likes the shirt, so go ahead and order the shirt. We'd greatly appreciate that. Limited run, it's not going to last long. So let's take the shirt down and ask you, do you think they're both circled wins? Circled doesn't mean guaranteed, but when you fill out the schedule, you say, well, Alabama's at home, Florida's falling apart. Tennessee should beat those teams.
Yes, they should be circled wins.
Come on.
Wait. Okay, so you agree with me on Florida. Let's get Florida out of the way on why we agree first. Florida is a dumpster fire of a football program right now, right? If Tennessee can't beat Florida at home this year with, I think, who's going with their most hyped up quarterback of all time, then they're just super cursed. Now, here's my question. Alabama, 30 players in the portal, new head coach. Even if you think Kalen DeBoer works out, he's not going to have like a splash first year, right? It's going to take a year for his spread offense to kind of get going, isn't it?
Yes.
If Tennessee, I think Tennessee's at their apex under Josh Heupel right now. I don't think they could do better than they're going to do in 2024. I mean, they could. Like, you can always do better, but I mean, this.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Josh Heupel could not ask for a better team than he's going to have in 2024 at Tennessee. And with a Heisman caliber quarterback, in my opinion, the most hyped up quarterback ever, his system, if Alabama, while rebuilding, if Tennessee, after they did it 2 years ago against the best quarterback Alabama's ever had, if they can't beat Alabama at home this year, when are they going to beat Alabama? When?
Well, they just did 2 years ago.
I know that, but if they can't do it this year, when are they going to do it again? How, like, in what stratosphere? You guys, I think the thing that's...
Well, no, I think that... Whoa. You asked me a question. Let me answer it. I think they do it when the talent's eroded a little bit. It's not going to erode in year one under DeBoer. A lot of the guys that are starting are going to stay because they realize that they're a few months away from being in the NFL draft.
Yes, but the talent's not going to erode, but there is the transition to a new spread offense, and DeBoer is clearly changing up the defense. We're seeing that right now. So, yes, they need to beat him this year. You guys, how many years are you going to give a coach to be able to rebuild the program? Okay? Josh Heupel's in year 4. Josh Heupel's in year 4, okay? They're not rebuilding anymore. They're done rebuilding. Tennessee football is done rebuilding. And if they lose to an Alabama team that is in rebuild mode this year at home, after they just beat them at home 2 years ago, then the program will be growing stale under Josh Heupel. What that signifies is the program is on a downward trend under Josh Heupel, and 2022 was a flash in the pan, not a sign of something greater.
Okay, I don't think Alabama's at that point yet. They may be there. They've lost a ton of talent, as was posted on the message board, but I'm not saying that Alabama's there yet. I would not be surprised, however, if the series of streaks, which is Alabama and Tennessee, and for those that don't know, it typically goes like 9, 10, 11, 12 in a row for one team. I think it swings Tennessee's way. Now, I don't think it's this year necessarily, but I do think it's very, very soon. Also,
that's not a coincidence, by the way. People think that's a coincidence. It's because Tennessee and Alabama, it's hard for both of them to be great at the same time because they compete with the same talent.
Okay, well, let me ask you why on that. And it's brought to you by Don Self at State Farm. Customer service still matters. State Farm agent Don Self and his team take customer service seriously. For well over 40 years, they have built their business and reputation on taking care of their customers in Collegedale and Ooltewah, as well as the greater Chattanooga area. Call 423-396-2126 or go to donself.net, donself.net. 423-396-2126, donself.net. I've always thought it was a coincidence or coaching coincidence of one has a better coach, but you say no?
I think it's hard for the schools to be great at the same time. And it's similar with Tennessee and Georgia. By the way, Tennessee and Georgia that's not an era of streaks. It's not as extreme as a Tennessee, Alabama. But Georgia's won 7 straight over Tennessee right now. Tennessee won 9 straight over Georgia in the 90s. You were covering those teams, Dave. Georgia won 4 straight over Tennessee in the 2000s. Remember that? And
I do. I'm sorry. Smoky Mountain Red used a new phrase that I'd never heard before, and it's making me giggle. Go ahead. I can't say it on the air because it's a bad one. Thank you, Smoky Mountain Red, for throwing me off and making me giggle. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, it's just like Georgia. Georgia's a series of streaks if you've covered Tennessee, Georgia. Now, Alabama is just more extreme. And it has to do with longer than Georgia, Tennessee and Alabama have always been chasing the same prospects, whether it be in the state of Georgia or most notably that North Alabama, South Tennessee border right there. During the Neyland years, that was where a lot of football talent came from during the era of segregation. Those were oftentimes the best players in the South. And what happened was, and this is a big history story, Sewanee had a lock on those players in South Tennessee when they were great in the early 20th century, guys. Sewanee gave up football. And when they did, Tennessee and Alabama were in an arms race for that talent. And whoever was able to get that talent dominated the series. So Tennessee and Alabama has always been a series of streaks because it's really hard for the program to be good at the same time, the programs.
I think it's just coincidence, but
it's not coincidence.
Well, don't say it. I mean, come on. It would be a heck of a win. Okay, I'll think. How about this? You brought something up new. I'll think about it. How about that? Is that fair? And I may have a different opinion. I do with Zakai Ziegler after really looking at him and getting ripped. By the way, hit that like and subscribe button. Like and subscribe. Do it now. And so we can bring in some more listeners, please. We greatly appreciate it. You were going to say?
I was going to say, now, what I'm saying is the major factor. That does not mean that it was if all things else being equal, yes, the streaks that have happened in the series is still unlikely. The level of extremities that's happened is unlikely, but that's what laid the foundation for those streaks. Again, notice that Tennessee and Georgia is now a series of streaks, Dave. It's the same thing. Tennessee won 9 straight in the 90s, and then Georgia won 4 straight from 2000 to 2003.
Okay, I'm going to say it's more about who has the better coach, but we can agree to disagree on that. Portions
better
of the
coach
program
is oftentimes reflective of who's getting the better talent.
Not really. I thought Mark Richt was a better coach than Philip Fulmer, and he had,
which is why Mark Richt was beating Philip Fulmer. But
right,
Jim Donnan
better
was
coach.
Oh, okay. Well, Georgia was getting better talent too.
Okay, well, then we both have to agree on that. Hemp House, the premier hemp dispensary online with a wide variety, great selection, and strict standards to ensure you only receive the best in CBD or delta products. Hemp House Chat with 2Ts.com. Hemp House Chat with 2Ts.com. It is kind of funny. I thought that Josh Heupel could stand toe-to-toe with Nick Saban and split the series, but I don't think that's going to be the case so much anymore. As a matter of fact, out of the next 10 years with Kalen DeBoer, who I don't think is going to have success, you and I differ a little bit on that. I think Tennessee should expect to win 7 out of 10 of those games.
Wait, where do we differ? I agree with you.
Oh, you don't
I
like
just
the
that's
Kalen DeBoer? Okay.
well, I don't. I like the Kalen DeBoer hire. Is it one of those things where like I don't blame Alabama for hiring Kalen DeBoer. I just personally think he's not going to have success. I've for a future history video coming, guys, I'm doing a deep dive into who Kalen DeBoer was and how he developed at Sioux Falls. I don't see anything unique about his spread offense. I just see it as a standard spread. I don't see anything that's kind of different about it that the SEC hasn't seen before.
Edward, thank you for pointing out the button-down collar thing. That's actually a pet peeve, and I got this back from I didn't have my collars buttoned down, and I got it back from the cleaners. So there we go. I got my button-down collars buttoned. You're absolutely right. I can't stand
I thought you were
that.
just going for the college dropout look before Kanye was an anti-Semite.
No, but at least my shirt's not a map of Knoxville like Caleb's. At least I can say that. VFL Tex X liked and subscribed here. Look at him. I'm going to just leave you up for the rest of the day. If you like and subscribe, you get some big time notoriety and love right here. So,
is that saying, are you VFL Tex X? Are you saying your exes live in Texas? George Strait over here?
Nice. By the way, sorry that Toby Keith passed away. That was kind of a surprise and a shame yesterday.
Did you know he discovered Taylor Swift, Toby Keith?
I didn't. I did not know that.